Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about the Aventon Sinch. It's their folding fat tire bike. So these are my first impressions, my reviews. Should you buy it, should you not, stuff like that. So the Sinch, I think out of all the Aventons that came out this year, the Sinch is the one to get. Whether you're into folders or you're into fat tires or not. It comes down to, they release entry-level bikes. So that means entry-level parts. It comes down to the gear set and the throttle. So the thing to do, at least for me, and I think for most people, is what you should do. With an entry-level bike, if it comes with a cheap gear set, you are forced to, the better way to ride it is to leave it as a single gear. Put it in the lowest gear, use the throttle to get you off the line a little bit, and then just use that single gear, which if it's a 14 tooth, that'll get you up to 16 to 18 miles an hour. And if you need throttle beyond that, then you can do that. That's the best way to bypass these entry-level bikes that come with cheap gears. So the cool thing about the Sinch, what I like about it is it comes with a Shimano Acera. And you kind of need that for this bike because the throttle does not work off the jump. The throttle only works once you go over 3 to 4 miles an hour. So the throttle is basically like a little extra, a little side note. It's not part of the riding experience really. So what that does is it's forcing you to work the gears on this e-bike. So if you're forced to work the gears, you want a better gear set. And the Shimano Acera is definitely the first respectable gear set in the Shimano line. Anything below that, you should not be going through the gears on. You should make sure you have a throttle. You should leave it as a single speed and ride it that way. So this is the first bike in the Aventon line that has a decent gear set. And they don't have the throttle. Throttle's not off the jump. So you need a decent gear set. Also, this has almost a 700 watt hour battery, which is much more than their other bikes. So, if there's cons, not really cons, I get it. They had to keep the bike cheap, but the two cons are, they didn't have to add a suspension fork. There's like a 4-inch tire on this thing. A suspension fork it just adds weight, and it's it's a cheap suspension fork, so it just adds weight. One more thing that can break down on you. For e-bikes, if you have anything above like a 2.25, like you have a decent suspension there, and this is up to 4, so you're gonna be fine. You don't need a suspension fork. I feel like suspension forks are just for people who don't know about e-bikes, and then they see it on a cheap bike and they go, oh wow, cool, they think they're getting more bang for their buck, but you're really not. You're just getting more weight for your buck, really. And the other thing is, they had a switch off of, they went back to mechanical brakes, which is fine. They're not as nice as hydraulic disc brakes, but keep in mind, if you don't know, because it's a heavier bike and these bikes do go faster than a normal bike, you're going to be adjusting your brakes probably every 2 to 4 weeks. It's not difficult. You just sort of pull the wire through a little bit. And then you're going to be getting new brake pads more often. So that's it. So out of all the Aventon bikes this year, the Sinch is the smartest one to get, because you're forced to use those gears because their throttle the throttle doesn't work. So you'd rather go through the Acera gear set. So I think that's it. I've also heard a couple concerns that on the Sinch, the joint that's closes it might be a little too wide, and some people are hitting their knees, so you might want to give that a test ride before you buy. But yeah, the Sinch is the one to get. I came close to buying one of them, but there's too many of the pros and cons sort of eat it up. But I do like where the company is going, and it's pretty amazing because they used to be Populo, which is a whole another bike company, and they sort of merged into this company. So I do like where they're going. I just think if they just bring it up a notch, and even if they raise the price a little bit, they're gonna have some killer bikes. So I look forward to see what they're gonna do in the future. And their customer service seems to be okay from what I've been researching. And that's super important for an entry-level bike as well. Make sure that the customer service is awesome, because these entry-level bikes are going to break down sooner than later, so it's cool to know that a company has your back for at least a year or two. So that's it, man. This has been the Aventon Sinch. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, put them down below. We'll discuss it, or I'll just bring it up in another video. Okay, thanks. Bye.